Hey friends, this past week, old man winter settled in on us good with some bitter cold temperatures, but it was the perfect time to get cozy and cook up some winter comfort food. I cooked plenty of warm and satisfying meals, but I made a lot of fun and easy little treats to keep everybody happy too. I'm Mel and welcome to my kitchen. Grab your extra loaf of bread and gallon of milk and join me for a week of cold weather cooking. So I'm heating some oil up in my skillet. I like to melt just a little bit of butter in this oil before I put my chicken in, give it a little bit more flavor. This looks like it's about getting right for frying chicken. So I'm gonna get all of my breast in here. I'm gonna season this up with a little Auntie Nono's, and this is salt with a little garlic powder and onion powder in it. You can use all those separately. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of black pepper. Next, a little bit of paprika. I love the flavor and the color that paprika gives chicken, and it just wouldn't be me if I didn't put some Italian seasoning on here. I think all of these seasonings are really what makes this recipe great. While that chicken is cooking up in the skillet, I'm going to go ahead and chop up this bacon from this morning, and I'm going to dice up this little Roma tomato. We'll need this just a little bit later for this recipe. Looks like we got one side pretty well good and done. So I'm going to flip these over and I'm going to season up this side with exactly the same seasonings, the Auntie Nono's, black pepper, paprika, and Italian seasoning. We do want to make sure that we cook our chicken thoroughly to 165 degrees internal temperature. And I started with an oven-safe skillet because I'm going to finish this off inside the oven. Not very long. I'm just going to be like melting some stuff on here. So if you want to put it in the oven and you don't have an oven-safe skillet, get your casserole dish ready and you can put it in there, or you could probably just put you like a lid or something on this skillet when we get to that step. And I almost forgot this, but barbecue sauce is a very important part of Monterey chicken. You use whatever you like or whatever you have on hand. And I'm going to put a little bit more here. Whoops. We'll share the love with another piece of chicken. Let's see. We are not going to be stingy with it. We got plenty of barbecue sauce. Then I'm using a blend of Colby and Monterey Jack cheeses. And that is, I guess, where this dish got its name, was the Monterey cheese that goes on the top of each little piece of chicken. How I always got it with the broccoli and the loaded potatoes. It was so good. I don't know why they ever took this off their menu. It's delicious. Now, at this point, I'm going to stick this in a 400-degree oven just for 4 or 5 minutes until everything gets nice and melted. Then we're just going to plate it up and add that chopped bacon on the top, smother it with green onions and that Roma tomato. This is my absolute favorite. I love the barbecue sauce with the melted cheese and all the seasonings and the toppings. I probably like this particular flavor even better than cracked chicken. It's delicious and so quick and easy. If you've been here before, you have probably seen me make salmon patties or tuna patties. Tonight, I'm going to do them just a little bit different. First things first, I had one 12-ounce can of just regular chunk light chicken. This is not chicken. This is chunk light tuna. I don't know why I kept calling it chicken. It's tuna, friends. This is not white albacore, although these are delicious made with the albacore tuna. And of course, you could use salmon here. Canned salmon is just more expensive than tuna. And unless you pay a little bit more, you got to deal with the bones and the skin. I'm going to crack one egg in here. I just kind of put it over to the side and mix it up a little. I also always put onion in my tuna cakes or my salmon patties. I don't have any fresh onion, so I have this dried minced onion. I'm just going to put in probably a tablespoon of that. I also like to put green onion or parsley or something like that in here, so I'm sprinkling in maybe a teaspoonful of parsley, just using this dried kind. I'm also going to add in a nice big tablespoon of tangy mayonnaise, Duke's, JFG. Either one of those has a really nice twangy flavor to them. To give it just a little bit more brightness, I'm going to squeeze in just maybe a teaspoon of lemon juice. I always put just a little bit of salt and a good little bit of black pepper, pretty much in everything I make. Now I'm just going to mix that together just a little bit. If you like something with a little kick, you could add some sriracha or any kind of hot sauce in here, but y'all know that's just not really my taste. And how this is going to differ a little bit from what I normally do is the breadcrumbs. I'm using a half a cup of panko breadcrumbs. Normally, I will use a little bit of flour and a little bit of cornbread mix because I do like mine to have a little bit of crunch when they fry up. And if you don't have breadcrumbs or flour or anything like that, you can just crush up some crackers, use saltines or any kind of buttery cracker will do, just about a half a cup of that. I've got a couple tablespoons of oil. I'm just using olive oil in my skillet, and I think I've got about a tablespoon of butter I put in here. And I have this on about medium heat, and I am just pattying about 4 really nice sized patties out of this tuna, and we're gonna get these things fried up. I think cast iron just cooks these up so pretty. Everything fries up nice in cast iron. And the great thing about these little tuna cakes, they just don't take any time at all to fry up. And I did cut my stove eye up just a little bit. If you're a regular here, I've got a new stove, and you know I'm still trying to get a feel for the new temperature here. I'm just going to remove these off to a plate, and then I'm going to do a little spinach something here in my skillet. I'm wanting like some kind of greens to go with this. I'm going to add a little bit more oil. I have got to refill my little oil bottle here. Throw in another tablespoon of butter. Please don't scorch butter. I've got some sun-dried tomatoes. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this here in my skillet. I love sun-dried tomatoes. That is smelling delicious. And if I can, golly. Hey Maddie, where open this garlic? I may not get any garlic. Me and Maddie can't get it open. Yeah, but then try this, Maddie. I swear that garlic has been the most aggravating jar of garlic. But I'm throwing some little baby spinach in here, and I'm just going to wilt me down a little spinach, sun-dried tomato, maybe garlic salad deal going on. As you can see, I did end up getting me some garlic. We just had to open a whole nother jar of it. And I put that in here with the sun-dried tomatoes and spinach, and I just got it all nice and wilted down. I don't know how this is going to taste, but I just wanted a little, some kind of like a salad relishy kind of something. No surprise, I loved it. It did taste great. I had a sneaking suspicion I would really enjoy the panko in these tuna patties because I love them crunchy, like I said. And I loved the little spinach and sun-dried tomato, garlic salad kind of wilted down in there. I just liked every bit of every flavor in each bite, and I just wanted to show you that here. Had a little bit of tartar sauce that I put on the top, but this absolutely hit the spot. If you didn't make a pot of chili, did you really have a snow day? Not around here. Of course, if you have been here, you've seen me make chili a zillion times, so I'm just going to pop the ingredients for mine up on the screen, and it's just like everybody else's. You brown your ground beef and onions, drain it off, then throw in all the other ingredients and simmer it. Do not drain any of the juice off any of your beans or rotel that you put in mine, and remember, I love the Chili-O chili seasoning in mine. We're going to start today's meal by using up some of our leftover chili. I'm just putting it over into my cast iron skillet on the stovetop, and I just have it on, a medium-low heat. I'm not trying to cook it or anything like that. I'm just trying to warm it up a little bit. We've eaten out of this chili just by the bowl twice, so now I'm going to do one more thing with it, and this little bit that is left, I'm just going to throw it in the freezer. It's enough for me and Patrick to each have a bowl. on some other cold day when I don't want to cook. We're going to top our chili with a cornbread topping, and I was headed over to the pantry to get out my cornmeal mix, and I thought I would check and see if I had any like convenience packages of things I bought that need to be used up. I found this Chi-Chi's sweet corn cake mix. Definitely needed to be used. I've never ever made this. I don't even remember buying it. I'm just going to mix it up according to the package instructions. I found it very strange. You don't use milk or eggs in this, and it says to bake it in a 9x5 loaf pan, and you scoop it out like sweet corn cake as side dish or dessert. Sounds a lot like Jiffy to me, or Jiffy casserole, but we're going to go with it and see what it comes out like on top of our chili. I'm going to take this muffin mix and I'm just going to pour it right over the top of my chili. I've never used this Chi-Chi's, and the instructions say when you're making it just regularly or 350 degrees for about 40 to 45 minutes. So I set my oven to 375 and we'll just see how long it takes. And I am definitely putting an empty pan right underneath my skillet in case we have any boil over or cook over spillage. I did end up cooking this about 20 or 25 minutes, and I cut mine up to about 400 degrees as well. This is so good. It's like corn pudding and chili together. And this is a simple concept that I've used tons of ways with taco meat, sloppy joes, chili, anything like that. Even just potatoes and onions cooked up in a skillet. Throw a little Biscuit mix or some cornmeal mix or something like that on the top of it. Even tater tots, it makes it great. Just gives you a little something different than the same o again. We didn't get quite the amount of accumulation that most areas you saw on the news got, but it was bitter cold. And this snow was a very hard, packed, icy snow, really. It just froze, and you couldn't even make snow cream out of it. We tried. But this is about all the footage I got for you. I didn't really step my big toe out of this house very much at all, even to go out and get in it because it was so cold. But in addition to all the cozy, comforting dinners, I also wanted to share with you just some snacks and treats and some other things that we made this week while we were snowed in. You know it's going to be a good day when I have all the bags of all the ingredients laying out here on the stove. Today we're going to make us some skillet tortilla pizzas. Got just enough butter in my skillet to coat the bottom of this pan, and I've got it on about medium heat. Laying down a soft taco size flour tortilla. Gonna top it with just a little bit of pizza sauce, some mozzarella cheese. Want to spread it out kind of thin and evenly because this is going to be a thin and crispy pizza. I'm using pepperonis because that's what I've got. You can use sausage, use up all your leftover veggies, anything like that you just want to get rid of, onions, peppers, olives, whatever. Also had just a little handful of Parmesan cheese left, so I thought we'd go over the top with that today. And of course, sprinkle some Italian seasoning on the top. I can hear the bottom sizzling, but I'm going to put a lid on this so everything can get nice and melted. You have to work fast on these. When you see it bubbling around the edges, you know it's nice and done, and they take no time in the skillet. You just want to be sure and wipe out your pan in between each one because the butter, you know how it does, it'll get like extra brown on you. But look how brown and crispy. This is just a perfect, quick and easy little snow day treat, or maybe fourth meal, as Taco Bell calls it. Quick, easy, not too heavy, and super delicious. And look, that cheese stretch, so good. Tonight, I'm going to make us a little 2-ingredient dip. We're starting with 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese. This is really good and soft. And I'm going to use this jar of onion chutney. It says it's sweet and savory. I got this at Aldi. For years, we made this recipe using the Harry and David's original pepper and onion relish. We don't have a Harry and David's in Pigeon Forge anymore. That's where I used to get it. But you can still order, online from Harry and David's just like always. But I'm going to try it with this. And their jar is 16 ounces. So if you're using Harry and David's, you're just going to use half of that jar, 8 ounces, to an entire block of cream cheese. I'm just going to use this entire 9-ounce jar for this. And all you're going to do is whip this up with your hand mixer, get it all incorporated and nice and fluffy. This is a perfect dip to put on a charcuterie board because it's great with any kind of cracker or pretzel. I especially love it with plain old crispy tortilla chips. It's one of those dips that make people, stop and say, gosh, that is really good. What is that? It's just something a little bit different that you don't see every day. I've made this same little concoction with lots of different jams and jellies and relishes, and it turns out great every time. Be creative and use whatever flavored jelly, relish, anything like that you have on hand. We also made this little holiday cookie butter bar mix that we did not get made over the holidays. Absolutely delicious. We loved it. What a treat. Just in case you didn't know what a speculoos cookie is, they're these little Biscoff cookies here. That's like the name brand of them. A lot of stores have their own. This is a cookie butter made out of the Biscoff. Trader Joe has their own brand of cookie butter, and it's absolutely delicious. When we get that, we always like to get these little chocolate cat cookies. They're like a graham cracker or animal cracker, but they're chocolate and they're shaped like cats, and we dip them. But something else, you can just eat them on regular graham crackers. And something that my mom turned me onto recently is to take a graham cracker and spread some apple butter on it, put a little top on it, put them in the refrigerator and let them set just a little bit, and it tastes just like an apple stack cake. You get that little bit of apple stack cake without having a whole cake sitting there tempting you, and it's a whole lot easier too. Take a look at this video right here for more delicious, quick and easy dinner ideas. Grab your milk and bread and an extra roll of toilet paper.